আমাদের সময় হয়ে গেছে to go and talk to former Indian international Robin Uthappa. Robin Uthappa, this is Athar Ali Khan. Welcome to Straight Drive. There has been a lot of talk in terms of the bench strength. What's your opinion whether India will try a few new players who have not yet played a game in an Asia Cup?
I certainly think so, and I hope they do as well. Simply because the batting order right now, if you look at number 1 to number 6, everyone has got runs. Your key players who would probably be your first choice players in the World Cup have all got runs. But the backup players like Shreyas Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, one is not in the World Cup, but however, he might get a go. And I think it's a great opportunity for them to utilize those players to bring them also into form. And if they're able to do that, they will leave, the batting unit feeling very confident and in themselves. Because, as you all know, it's a confidence game as far as batting is concerned. You want to go out there and have runs behind your name, and this is a great opportunity for the likes of Shreyas Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav to get some runs behind their name, so that when they, if and when they do get an opportunity in the World Cup, they'll have the confidence to go into a game.
Yeah, before I ask you a question, I love your shirt, and I love that Snoopy character on your shirt. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Khan.
Coming back to Indian strengths and weaknesses, we also would like to know your thoughts in regard to the bowling attack that you have, because we were actually discussing with our panel of experts in the studio in terms of what Bangladesh should do. Should they look to rest Taskin Ahmed, because it's very hot, it's very humid, so it takes a toll on the body. So it's important for, especially if you're a seam bowler coming from a long run up, you need to give them a good recovery period. Do you think that India would be also looking into that direction?
They could look into that direction, but honestly, I think with the way India have been bowling and the fact that some of the bowlers are coming back from injury, like the likes of Bumrah, I think Bumrah would like to get a few more games and overs behind him before he gets to the World Cup. So I think he would want to play for sure. Siraj has looked pretty good, but having said that, the wickets column isn't really speaking that much for him. So, he'd also like to get that confidence because, again, like I said a few minutes ago, it's a confidence game. And the more wickets you have, the more confident you are. So I think as far as that is concerned, I feel the fast bowling lineup will remain the same. Kuldeep Yadav is amongst the wickets, and I think spinners should keep playing I think like batters, if they're in good form, you keep playing them, and try and make the most of their form. And I think, if anything, maybe Hardik Pandya, to take a break as a bowler. But outside of that, I don't see India making too many changes. As far as Taskin Ahmed's concerned, I think he's a very, very, very improved bowler, and I think he's been exceedingly impressive. I've always touted him as someone who has the potential to be a spearhead for Bangladesh, and he has proven to be so in the last year or so. And I think he's a prized commodity and must be utilized as such, and should be given the kind of break that he needs to keep himself healthy to serve Bangladesh for a long time to come.
Right, and looking back at this tournament so far, India is looking like a solid unit. I mean, you've got the top order scoring runs, your spinners are producing magic deliveries, they're literally unplayable if there is any assistance from the pitches. Your seamers have been excellent. Yes, they have been a touch expensive, but you mentioned especially about Bumrah needs to play. Hardik Pandya, if he gets it right, difficult because he can bowl quick. So this is really good signs for Indian team, especially World Cup around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've been in some really good form, and I think especially after the West Indies series, you need a championship or a tournament like this, where performances like this, where the players feel good about themselves. All you can ask, say, before an important tournament like the World Cup is that everyone feels good about their own game, and they're feeling good physically and mentally. And I think this tournament has been able to achieve that for most of the players, which is why I feel the reserve players or the backup players should get an opportunity to also get confidence into the game by scoring runs or getting wickets, so that the whole team, feels good going into a World Cup. And ideally, that's the most ideal situation you would want for any team. And India have been able to kind of achieve that in this Asia Cup.
Yeah, and before I let you go, how important it is for the players to stay mentally and physically fit, because injuries are part and parcel of the game. I mean, you can't hide it if you get injured. I mean, we had someone like Nazmul Shanto who started this tournament with a bang, 89 and 100 plus, but he got himself injured. So that's a very crucial part, especially when you have the coaching staff will be taking really good care when the game is done and you look at what kind of toll the body has taken, because you want them 100% fit before the World Cup.
Yeah, you do. You want them 100% fit. And I think it takes, the player needs to take responsibility for himself or herself, along with the team management taking responsibility for the players. Say, in the case of Shanto, because you're playing in Sri Lanka where the overcast conditions are also heavy, and then you know that it can get very hot and humid there. So a lot of self-awareness is required as to how far he's pushing his body. And if he felt he's pushing his body to a place where it could get injured, to communicate that, have that trust with the captain and the coaches to say, you know what, maybe I'm not feeling 100% right. Let's try and figure out a way how we go about, keeping myself healthy, because we have an important tournament like the World Cup coming up as well. So you need that line of communication open and to have faith and that trust built between that relationship between the team management and the players as well. And, if you're able to do that, then I think you'll find yourself in a place where you give yourself the best chance to stay fit mentally and physically. Because a lot of these injuries also happen from sometimes a lack of mental clarity between the team management and the players as well. So to have that open line of communication, because at the end of the day, your best players in the country are playing for you, right? They're representing the country. So Correct. You want to be able to provide the best for them. And if there's not an open line of communication and there's a gap in that communication, sometimes it can cause a lot of stress, which can kind of manifest in a physical form, and then that can become a physical injury. So there are a lot of these aspects that players need to keep and the management needs to keep kind of in tune with, to be able to keep your players fit and healthy. And I think those are the kind of boxes I think India have kind of ticked as well. They keep that line of communication open, especially with the senior pros, and that helps them kind of not a lot of non-cricketers understand it, but I think within the group they understand it in depth.
Right. It's always been a pleasure to have you in Straight Drive, and thank you very much, Mr. Robert Uttama, with your very, very sincere and to-the-point thoughts.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khan. It's a pleasure always.
Thank you. Thank you.
For more updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Download TSports app to enjoy exciting games and highlights. Visit tsports.com.